Good evening, good afternoon, good morning, everyone. Welcome to the Leadership TKO live night show. Welcome to the night show, everybody. Glad to be here before you. It's Lakeisha McKnight, your wealth mentor, your online marketing coach, okay? The leadership specialist. And so glad to be here with each and every one of you. And so I'm excited. We are live. And so it could be evening, morning, afternoon, again, where you are, because we are on podcast platforms all around the world that streams around the world. And so, welcome to those of you who are in Europe and Australia, Asia, Africa, Canada, throughout the United States, even South America. Hola, ¿cómo estás? Okay, so welcome, guys. Welcome, welcome. We're about to go live on Facebook, so please stand by. All right. Well, good evening, good afternoon, good morning, depending on where you are in the world at this moment. Welcome to the Leadership TKO live night show. Welcome to the night show, guys. Lakeisha McKnight is here. Super excited to be here with each and every one of you. Yes, you. Glad to be here before you. I'm your leadership specialist, your wealth mentor, author of a few books, but most importantly, out of all of this, I'm your friend. And so I welcome you here to the show, everybody. The show goes live every single night around 7:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And, we're streaming live right here on Facebook, but we're also live on several podcast platforms as well. So we've already greeted our podcast audience out there, all of you ladies and gents, the podcast listeners. Thank you so very much for your faithfulness and plugging in to this podcast and this, of course, live stream show. So listen, everybody, there are a couple of ways that you all can participate and engage during this particular stream. And so one way of doing this is liking or loving the stream, liking or loving it. Because remember, the purpose of the show really is to empower leaders like yourself with the ability to win. That's right, winning from the inside out, growing your influence, your impact, and your income. So for those of you who are looking to grow your influence, you want to build yourself up as a leader. Perhaps you want to grow your income, residual income, passive income. You want to grow your income. You're in the right place at the right time. So hit that love button, send those hearts out there. Secondly, you can definitely engage below. We have a comment section, so you can enter your city, your state, your country. Let me know where you're watching from, where you're tuning in from. I love to meet new people from different places around the world. And I know that right now the main means that we're able to truly do this, okay, is through social media and the virtual option at this particular time. And so go ahead and let me know what city, state, and country you're from. And if you're catching the replay of this, hashtag replay in the comment section, hashtag replay. And then lastly, you can share this. Yes, let's be a blessing. Be a blessing. Share this out to those you care about, perhaps on your timeline, groups, fan pages, direct messages, all of the above. Do a watch party as you see fit. And so as I've asked, of course, you all to do these things, I'm going to do it myself. I like to practice what I preach here. You got to be the example. And so I'm going to share this out with a couple of my colleagues. Good evening for all Wealth Builders Worldwide family members out there. Good evening to you. And so I wanted to make sure I greet you as well. And so listen. We have been a part of this amazing series, and I'm going to try to keep this to about 10 minutes or so, but we are part of an amazing series, Influence 101. Many of you know that the foundation of Leadership TKO, this brand, is, again, leadership. And my leadership mentor, Dr. John C. Maxwell, he talks about how leadership is influence, nothing more and nothing less. Okay, that's it. It's influence. But then you have to ask yourself the question, well, what is influence then? And of course, there are many people, you can keep it complicated. It could be really complex, or you can keep it really simple. And I know many of you heard this phrase where, you might have had a coach who said you want to encourage people to help you to get to know you, like you, and trust you. So throughout this series, it's a short little 3-part series. We spoke already about helping people to know you, helping people to get to like you. But tonight, let's talk a little bit about trust, because that's the third factor, that trust factor. Yes, indeed. Because there's a certain threshold that people will place you on when they first connect with you, whether it's through social media or in person. There's a certain threshold that you may start at, and then either you would work your way up when it comes to the level of trust on that continuum, or all it takes is one time, okay, for you to break the trust, and then you have to potentially work your way back up. Okay, so I want you to think about this for a second, because trust can be a complicated factor. Like, how do you help someone to trust you? That trust factor. How can you help someone to truly believe you and kind of run with you and be consistent with you? Especially for those of you who are entrepreneurs, network marketers, affiliate marketers, online marketers. You're just building a business online. How do you help people to get to trust you? We already talked about you. It really helps for you to be authentic. Be yourself. Be the real you. Don't be afraid to be vulnerable. And as a leader, it's very important that if you make a mistake, if you say something the wrong way, if you do something that offends another person, that you apologize. You apologize. That's why I love, for example, for those of you who are spirit-led, right? You are believers. I love the Holy Spirit, because you know what the Holy Spirit does? The Holy Spirit convicts you. It convicts you when you're out of order, when you're out of line with what we should be doing as believers. That's why I love the Holy Spirit. Okay, I love having a relationship, and having that Holy Spirit's presence abiding in me. And that's, of course, a whole nother topic, right? But it acts as a comforter, a guide. It reminds me of how I ought to live a life that will be pleasing to the Most High. And one of the factors is living to be a person of integrity, being honest, having that honest character. Now, it doesn't make me perfect, but what you can do is strive for excellence in what you do. Allow your yes to be yes and your no to be no. That builds trust. You want to be present. You want to do what you say you're going to do and be available as a leader. That's another thing. Being available, okay, to help, to assist, to guide. Now, not telling somebody what to do, because you're not trying to be a boss, but you're trying to guide. As you're moving along, you're guiding others along as well, and people get to trust you in that process. Okay? So you want to be as honest as possible, and when you make a mistake, when you mess up, you want to fess up. I want you to understand that one point right there. When you mess up, it's important that you fess up or confess up and actually verbalize what you've done that was out of line. Okay, that was out of line. And here's the other side of trust when it comes to forgiveness and getting things back in order. Here is one thing I want to share about it. Not only must that person who made a mistake apologize if something is out of a line or if they've offended someone, here's the other part of trust. The person who made the mistake has to trust the other person. There's another side of trust. Trust the other person who they offended to be able to accept their apology. There's another side of it. Can I trust you enough as a leader to leader, as person to person, for you to accept the apology and not rub it in and not, just blow it off? I have to trust enough. I have to be open and authentic enough and real enough to say, you know what? I apologize. I was wrong at that. Not my bad. Let's just be real about it. Let's just be professional and straight. I apologize. I know I offended you. I know I said this and it may have come out the wrong way. but I truly, truly apologize. And you want to say this authentically. You don't want to just say, well, I apologize, because then it doesn't sound as though you're being truthful with that. Okay? And so once you make a mistake, try your very best with that mistake you made not to do the same thing all over again. Okay? You got to be cautious and careful of that as well. So trust factor. It's all about building a relationship. Okay? Build and establish a relationship. One day at a time. Take it one day at a time. And okay, be present, be available, be willing to help, to assist. And most importantly, people have to understand, they have to be in a position where they feel as though you have their best interest in mind. They feel that you're for them, not just for yourself. It's not about you, but it's about them. That you're coming here, that your purpose is to serve and not necessarily to be served. And we know where we get that from, right? For all of my Bible scholars, right? Jesus, in the word, it says he came to serve, not to be served, and to be a ransom, sacrifice for many. His life was the price. His life was the ultimate sacrifice. And so as a leader, you're living a life sacrificially because it's not about you. You may get all types of stones thrown at you. You may get all types of darts and all types of attacks, and whether it's verbal attacks or spiritual attacks, you may have all types of things coming from different directions. But you got to be fully equipped, okay? Every single day being equipped mentally, protecting your heart, okay? Watching the places you go, whether it's virtually or physically in person. So trust is huge. It's going to require a lot to build it back up once you've lost trust in other people. And sometimes you might have to just move on. Okay, you might have to just move on when it comes to certain individuals if they've lost trust in you. Okay, but you have to be willing to forgive yourself and you have to be willing to move forward. Okay, do better the next day. As God gives you the grace to see another day, do better the next day. So establish trust. So this really wraps up, our series here on Influence 101, helping people to get to know you, like you, and trust you. And I'm praying that this has added value to your life as you've been tuning in. Work on that trust every single day. Just like, for example, I'm on here, I share information through the Leadership TKO Live Night Show, and I try to be as authentic as possible. Never claiming to be perfect. And I've made many mistakes. Probably make mistakes every single day. Is it intentional? Absolutely not. Okay? But we learn as we go. And when it comes to failures, I like to add a different spin because I see failures as lessons learned. Okay? You fail your way forward, as John Maxwell often coins, especially with his book. Fail your way forward. Okay? And so I appreciate you all. Thank you so very much for tuning in. And for those of you who really want that community. You want that community where you can feel supported as you're growing your business. Maybe you're trying to grow your influence. You're maybe trying to establish something amazing, a legacy for yourself. Because as many of you know, I am a wealth mentor, right? And I have to be, of course, I put that out there every time. I'm a wealth mentor. I'm a leadership strategist. Okay, leadership specialist, as some people see it. And so my focus is to help you be better and help you put yourself in position where you're not working yourself to death. I have to say that because you can work until you die unless you establish residual or passive income, okay, and establish wealth for yourself. So many of you know what I do. Of course, I help people to get in position to do that, where you're earning residually. So there are some things going on right now, huge projects that have launched, soft launched. And you might want some information on this because this is groundbreaking. It's transforming lives right now because people, as we're sleeping, we're earning residually in Bitcoin and Ethereum. So for those of you who know the power of cryptocurrency and you want to understand how you can get paid in Bitcoin, Ethereum 24/7 and instantly, while also establishing leverage for yourself, If you want to learn how to do this, I encourage you to reply info below in the comment section. Now, if you're watching this on someone else's timeline, I encourage you also to get with them, inbox them and say, hey, look, I want information about Bitcoin or Ethereum and how I can get paid in Bitcoin. Because that's what I do. As a business owner or entrepreneur, I get paid in Bitcoin, not cash necessarily, because cash is a liability and losing value. I get paid in Bitcoin. I can purchase things with Bitcoin and other cryptocurrencies. So I appreciate you all. I thank you so very much for tuning in tonight to the Leadership TKO Live Night Show. We'll be back tomorrow night with a fresh new episode, so make sure you tune on in right here on the timeline. So until then, I encourage each and every one of you to think, to speak, and to live leadership. Good night, everyone, and God bless.